Welcome back to the 2019-2020 Viking Voice podcast. I'm Zachary Petrick, and I'm here with,
Jack Levin.
Amen Esposito.
and Carlos is back today. Welcome back, Carlos. What's new with you, and how was bowling?
Good.
Was good?
Yeah.
Mr. Rodahan is the coach, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was Rodahan has a good amount of energy. How was bowling with Rodahan nearby? It
Good.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. Well, do you know what your highest was this year? Highest score?
100, 110, 108.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Good for you. Where do you guys bowl?
Um, First of all, we practice at Syosset in the game Mineola.
Games Mineola and Praxis Syosset. What else are you gonna do bowling next year?
Yes, that's right.
All right, nice. For Eamon senior play, how was
Yep.
the play? And obviously it was snowy when that happened. So
Yeah. Oh man. Well,
turnout.
it was a lot of fun. We had a really good turnout Friday night. It was sold out. So the show was a lot of fun. Then Saturday, a few less people because of the snow, but definitely a lot less stressful because smaller
Yeah,
audience. So we were able to have a lot more fun with it. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
good. That sounds great. Are there any other shows coming up?
Yeah, well, the musical is coming up. It's Guys and Dolls this year, so it should be a lot of fun. I have like a small role in that, so I'm excited.
Okay, and then other NS news. Sports night signups were today, Thursday,
For 11th graders,
for
not for
11th
not for
graders.
everyone.
Today, the 30th of January, and Sport night is coming up the when I come back from the Italian trip, which is coming up. We leave the 6th.
It's late. Sports night. Sports night is later in
Yeah, it's
February,
like the
and
24th or something.
yeah, that should be a lot of fun going
Yeah,
into
actually,
our
I think it's the
third year.
28th, but yeah.
We're
And then
hoping to
senior,
finally take
the
down the
musical.
seniors.
I don't know about that one.
We're hoping to take down the seniors as juniors this year.
So
So that should
unlikely.
be
So
fun.
unlikely.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The musical is March 20th, so that's coming up.
It's Guys and Dolls, correct?
Guys and
Those
Do you
Dolls,
have
guys,
do
yeah.
you
yeah.
have any other
Right.
insight on it so far? Are you doing it this? Doing
Yeah,
it?
I like I said, I have a minor role. But it should be done good. This is my first musical that I'm doing too, so it should be
Nice.
interesting.
And then going into April, the senior fashion show is
Yep.
the 4th. So I mean that's usually pretty cool. Right? It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually never been. My
Right.
sister did it when she was a senior. But yeah, so we usually have a lot of fun with it. It's very laid back, casual, and
And then Pulse is having a show the 24th of April. So they're going to be preparing for that. And yeah, and then obviously the main focus of this podcast was the Super Bowl. We do want to give our prayers, respect, and condolences to all in the tragedy last Sunday with the death of Kobe Bryant, the famous baseball coach Gianna Bryant, and all the other people that were killed. Prayers go out to their families. We do want to give our condolences to them.
Yeah, it
And
was a tragedy.
yeah,
At first, I thought it
it was
was some
fake,
sick
yeah,
joke.
I thought it was
but
fake also.
I
yeah,
just I just couldn't believe it. I mean, the legacy that he left behind, basketball, one of the greatest of all time.
yeah, and then the baseball coach coached Aaron Judge, Jeff McNeil. So we want to give our respect, and we're not going to go into too much detail. But Carlos, you heard about Kobe Bryant, right? When
Yeah.
did you hear about the news of Kobe's passing?
Um, well, my uncle told me first, Kobe Bryant was killed in a
Right.
helicopter, and News 12 told me about
Yeah.
everything about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. The one sad thing about the tragedies like this is they kind of get milked on TV, just pushed out again. If you turn on ESPN, it's 24/7 Kobe Bryant, and I just don't want to turn it on. It makes me sad.
Yeah,
But we want to kind of stay away from that. We don't want to talk about it too much.
negative.
We're
Yeah.
we're kind of all still kind of in a grieving process. Jack loved Kobe. I loved Kobe. Carlos is a basketball fan. So, for everything that Kobe did, we kind of want to stay away from that situation.
Yeah, but a lot of the NBA players are not paying their tributes.
Yeah.
Players like Spencer Dinwiddie are changing their numbers from number 8 in respect to him. He's changing it to number 26, I
I thought it was
believe.
28.
28.
Yeah, he was
You're,
combining Gigi's 2 and Kobe's 8.
yeah, so that should be that's a very respectful thing for them to do.
And then on the more uplifting note, the Super Bowl LIV, number 54. I have a $20 bet on the Chiefs with my dad. So who else do you guys have? Chiefs, 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really, crazy about the two teams that are playing, but I'm gonna be rooting for the Chiefs. I'll probably bet a little bit of money with my friends. Um,
Carlos, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl?
Um, um, I don't know. Maybe the San Francisco
Yeah,
team.
San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they're a good team. A lot of people are saying Chiefs might maybe a blowout. I don't believe that at all. Actually, I think it's going to be a close game, but I think for a score prediction, Chiefs 24, San Francisco 21.
Yeah, I kind of need that to end in a Chiefs with 9 points at Chiefs, and then 49ers with 1 because my box score is a 9 and a 1,
Yeah,
which is possibly the worst thing for me ever. But I think that the Chiefs will overtop the
a
49ers.
9 and a
Just
1's not like barely possible.
yeah, no.
9 for 3 field goals and 1's just
I don't want
impossible.
to talk about it, but the only reason I think that Kansas City is going to stop San Francisco is because their main focus is stopping the unsung hero of the 49ers, Raheem Mostert, who is their running back and was killing it. And if they stop him, it's going to be hard for Jimmy Garoppolo to carry that team in the high pressure situation that they are
Yeah,
already
Jimmy
in.
Garoppolo's a good quarterback, but definitely not nowhere near Patrick Mahomes' level.
And I think the Chiefs offense will overcome the defense because of just the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. He can throw the ball 60 yards and he can run with when he
Yeah.
needs to.
And then next, what a lot of people watch for is the commercials. Uh, Eamon did tell us right before we started recording that the Mr. Peanut commercial that was going to happen with him dying and passing away and then like whatever they're moving on was actually pulled because of Kobe Bryant because whatever I think his death was because he like drove
yeah,
off a cliff and it like blew up or
yeah. So
something. So they wanted to stay far away from that. Don't want to cause
yeah,
any
just
controversy.
they don't want to cause any sort of like uncomfortableness
Yeah,
while
a little
watching.
too soon. You know, maybe
Yeah, I'd
you
say
wait
so.
6 months. Maybe that ad comes on.
I definitely agree with
But
that. But are you guys got any plans for the Super Bowl? Really? I know we're going to
Jack and
our
I,
friend's
yeah, we're
house.
going to a friend's house.
Amen.
Yeah, I was probably gonna go over to my friend Will's house,
Alright.
watch it there.
Alright.
Carlos,
Nice.
do you have any plans for the Super Bowl?
Uh, no, but I'm gonna be seeing a lot of Super Bowl
Yeah.
commercials.
I'm pretty excited for the commercials. Actually, usually they're good. Last year, I feel like was a little underwhelming.
There
Yeah.
were a couple of them
Yeah,
were
what I
kinda
am
weird.
excited for, just like last year's NFL 100 commercial leading into this
That
year's
was
100
nice.
season, is this year's NFL 100
100.
commercial, which they have been now pushing out on NFL's YouTube channel, kind of
If you
getting teasers.
if you watched a couple months ago, you would see Deion Sanders all over ESPN telling people to send in your plays to put in
Right.
for the NFL
Yeah,
100s.
and they just chose all 32 NFL teams chose the kid that is going to be representing them
Right. Yeah.
for that commercial.
Did
So
you did you guys expect San Fran and Kansas City to be in the Super
I
Bowl?
expected San Fran definitely. I thought the Ravens were going to be in the Super Bowl, but Jack did tell me early on in the year when the Ravens really started were hot, like week 10, 11. Jack was like, the Ravens are too young. Give them some time. They'll make it. They'll win, but not yet. And turns out, yes, Jack was right. The Titans did their homework with the Patriots
I
and
just
the Ravens, and Lamar really clearly shows that his throwing to the outside sidelines is not that good
good.
as any of the other quarterbacks in that draft.
And this just proves how kind of they're bringing it back to the old game. Derrick Henry
Yeah.
is this 6'3", 200 something pound running back that is basically the definition of a truck.
Yeah.
You can't stop him. And I mean, he definitely is the core piece to that offense, but Ryan Tannehill comes in for Marcus Mariota, takes over for him and turns that season around, and then like has wide receivers like AJ Brown and Corey Davis up the ante a little bit, and then their defense, Adoree
Defense, yeah.
Jackson, Rashad Evans, they all killed it for them.
Yeah,
And I
they're a good all around team. Like if I was to look at their team, I would say they wouldn't need one position that has a real hole. But I would say some positions can be upgraded to bring them to a next level team.
They
From
need a
9
kicker.
and 7, they do need a kicker. 9-7 to 12-4.
Look, I think that their goal this offseason is to go get Ryan
Yeah.
Tannehill again.
Yeah, and I think he will
But
resign, definitely.
I don't think he's going to be the Ryan Tannehill we saw this season.
Yeah, I think this
personally.
year maybe he saw some light. He's like, this is my chance to come back after leaving the Dolphins. I have a chance here. I can show the world my skill. And I do think, I wouldn't say it's a fluke, but I would say it was on the lighter side of things.
Yeah.
I think maybe next year they don't make the playoffs just because they have this rush with a new quarterback in. I actually think maybe next year they go 8-8. I haven't seen their like who they're playing, but I think 8-8 might be on their side unless
Mm.
something happens. They get somebody in free agency and a star player, and they come up to 10 and
A-
5, 11-4,
Amen. Do you have
11
any
5.
insight? Maybe even how the 49ers might play out for the next couple of years, along with like Kansas City,
Um,
Tennessee. You know.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited to see like how the super because everyone I've been talking to is saying the 49ers are gonna blow out, the Chiefs. And personally, I have faith in the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. He's just a exceptional
I think
quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes is one of the most deserving guys in the Super Bowl, especially after last year's loss in the AFC
I mean,
Championship.
like he's in his third year. It's not like this is one of his last
Oh
years in the
yeah, no, it's
NFL.
not like he
Yeah.
is old. He's not up into Tom Brady's age and like he doesn't have a Super Bowl. But after last year's loss to the Patriots, where he didn't get to play in overtime, I think he does deserve a ring.
Hmm.
And he's a great quarterback, and he is the future of the NFL, along with Lamar Jackson and Darnold, Josh Allen,
Yeah.
and maybe Daniel Jones. You'll see. But yeah, those guys are going to be the future of the NFL.
The funny thing to think about is that he's playing a quarterback that already has two Super Bowl rings
Yeah, right.
backing up Tom
You don't
Brady.
really remember that, but Garoppolo has 2 rings already from being a backup with the Patriots. As well as Jacoby Brissett, he was their
Yeah,
third string, and they all
yeah,
have
he
rings.
honestly had a pretty decent season as well.
Yeah.
But going back, do you guys think like when the Super Bowl is over and stuff, should that Monday be a day off for everyone because they're staying up late and
I
watching it?
I don't think it should be a day off, but I think if you come in to work late or school late, you should not be punished. Maybe push work back if you start at 9 to 11, or if school starts at 8:10 here, school maybe if you're late, if you're a football fan, you maybe off the slack a little bit, but maybe school starts at 9 or. But if your team wins, I think you don't have to come. If your team wins, I think just you can skip school or
I
work.
personally think like it should be considered a holiday just because the entire
Yeah.
nation is watching the Super Bowl. It's not just like a
Yeah, I looked
small
up the
select.
stats. It only said like 60% of people watch Super Bowl, but I don't believe that because when I think about that, I think about one like that 65% is like 65% of families with a television. Now, you're not thinking about parties and stuff like that, so I'm
People
still
at
thinking
people
that
at
80%
bars.
of people watch the Super Bowl in this
Like
country.
people at bars, they're crowds and
Right.
crowds and crowds of people looking at like three
People
Right.
TVs.
If you go to
listening
Kansas
to it
City
on the
this
radio and
weekend, you'll go to the main Kansas City bar in Missouri, and you look up. There's got to be hundreds of people in bars, ready and watching the game, so they can all go crazy if they win or lose, big plays, bad plays, you know.
Uh,
But what about moving the Super Bowl to a Saturday?
no.
I also say
No,
no.
no.
no, that never
Yeah,
happened.
Carlos, you
Sunday.
think that's a bad idea? Super Bowl Saturday?
No, that will never
Yeah,
happen.
never happened. I
It's
agree.
it's a tradition to watch football
Yeah,
every
on
Sunday.
Sundays.
They do have a couple Saturday games at the end of the season, but that I like that. I like watching football and
Yeah,
watching the full
and then the
game.
playoffs are Saturday, Sunday, but they do that just so they can get as mo-
Many.
yeah viewers as possible. I can't speak English
I just
clearly.
think that Sunday is a day for football. It's just a day to procrastinate homework.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's a full on. It's a day to make an excuse about a test because you're watching football, Zach. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, we won't go into that
All right,
story.
so going past the playoffs in the Super Bowl, I mean, comes the off season, comes the draft. Do you think? And there's a lot of free agent quarterbacks and a lot of people that are looking to sign other people, especially Tom Brady. who is an unrestricted free agent this year and could possibly be on a new team next year, which I can't see
Yeah,
really happening.
I find that very surprising because if you think about, his age, it's sort of like the age where most people would consider retirement. And after so many years of, being in the NFL and taking hits, you would think like now would be the ideal time for him to just leave and just, accept what he's done.
Yeah.
He's won multiple Super Bowls.
But
He's
I
been
don't
three
think he can
MVPs.
go out after that loss to the Titans.
No,
Super embarrassing.
Yeah.
I just
I don't see it.
understand. I don't think he's gonna retire. He may be 40,000 years old,
He's like
but like
43.
he's
But I
he's
think
actually
like 42,
43,
43. Yeah.
but he takes such good care
Of
of
his
his
body,
body
yeah.
that he
He's
could
in
still
like the best
play
shape of his life.
for like 2 years after that. Some quarterbacks, as they get later in their career, kind of let themselves go a little bit, and that's a main reason for retirement. But even when Brady retires, he's gonna keep the same great shape that he's in.
Oh yeah.
I think
I wouldn't be
They're-
surprised to see him start like recreationally playing like football, like two-touch football in his town or
yeah,
whatever.
definitely. But if you really think about it, it's I only see two liable options for him. Either A, he re-signs with the Patriots for a maximum of a 2-year deal,
Yeah.
or he goes to the Chargers.
I don't see the Chargers happening, to be completely honest. I see Oakland, and saw something today that said the Jets are interested, and I just said no. It's not happening. Won't happen. All the Jets fans will say no. And
All right, so we have a guest that just arrived, William Camardella. You want to introduce yourself, Will?
What's going on? My name's Will Camardella. I'm the PA announcer for football and basketball and lacrosse games here at North Shore. I've been on the show before.
yeah, one other time, right?
Yeah, I was here to do a little playoff preview for the football team earlier in the season.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So earlier we were talking about the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the 49ers, and we were both giving our insight on how each of them can counter one another and able to go and win. So what do you who do you think is going to come up top in that game?
Well, the way I look at this matchup, this is sort of familiar in the sense, high-powered offense against what are those old-school suffocating defense, run the ball down your throat teams, and the 49ers, 6 times in NFL history has the number one offense play the number one defense. The number one defense won that game 5 times. I think defense wins the championship for the 49ers. I like them to win outright, and I would like them on the 1.5 spread as well.
They're on the 1.5 spread. I thought the Chiefs had the 1-point spread.
No,
49ers are getting 1.5.
Yeah, 49ers
Oh,
have
really?
the 1.5 spread. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
But I like your logic behind it. I just think I said this earlier. If the Chiefs defense and the run defense in general, as the year has progressed, has gotten much better with Chris Jones and everybody there blocking the middle. I mean, they're not Jimmy Garoppolo.
They're not a top defense at all.
Yeah, but look,
And
Jimmy
that's why they
Gar-
added Tyrann Mathieu last year, because the defense was atrocious.
Exactly. But look, Jimmy Garoppolo will not be able to complete 4 passes like he did against the Packers against this team. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to use Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman a million times to win this game. If the Chiefs, like I said earlier, block and prevent runs, I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo being able to carry
Yeah,
that team. And
I know Garoppolo, obviously, we talked about this before, 2 rings, obviously, it's backup for the Patriots. But I don't think he's a top-end quarterback yet. I think he's good. I think there's still more potential to go there with Kyle Shanahan as calling the plays, I think, over in San Francisco. But no, I don't see 49ers winning that game. I did see a couple things that said the Chiefs would win by a blowout. Again, completely disagree. I think 24-21, as I said earlier, Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes comes out on top, and the Chiefs' defense shows up in the Super Bowl.
The thing that I wonder about with the Chiefs, and that's what kind of makes them so hard to predict what they're going to do, the common theme in the past 2 playoff games, home to Houston, home to Tennessee, bad starts. Opponent comes in, does exactly what they want to do, fed off
Yeah.
of a lot of mistakes by the Chiefs. I mean, the Texans game sticks out to me
Yeah.
so much. Drop passes, special teams errors. These are the kind of mistakes that I always say you cannot win in the playoffs when you make these mistakes. And I think if that continues in the Super Bowl, it's not going to happen. But on the different side, this offense seems so much more dynamic than anything I've ever seen, largely because of their quarterback, that for 2 weeks they've been able to make up
Yeah,
for it.
down
and they wind up winning
24-0 is clearly a hard road to come back from. After one quarter, you're down 24-0. You got to be thinking to yourself, what did we get ourselves into?
I was
But
watching that.
yeah, we were watching that game, I think, together, right?
Yeah.
We're watching that game and we're like, "There's how do they come out of this?" But we both thought the Chiefs have some light.
When you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he is able to put the team on his back that are making up errors. Like, and one big play, like the play to Damian Williams
Right.
when he was running the wheel route and he hit him right on it. Like, I don't think Damian Williams saw the ball until like 2 seconds before it hit him.
Yeah,
That was the energizer. That was the thing that got the Chiefs going, and the Texans is like, oh my God, they're still here in some specific ways.
yeah. The Chiefs are that offense that they can turn themselves around in milliseconds. You won't even see it coming, and the Chiefs are on the 10 on your own 10 yard line. They started at the 25 less than a minute ago. That offense is exciting to watch.
At no point in this game should anybody ever believe that the Chiefs are completely out
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
We've seen just how quickly they can score, and it's again, it's all about the quarterback. There is no throw on the field that he can't make. He is not just the most athletic quarterback; he is all around the best quarterback in the NFL. So the Chiefs are never dead. However, I think the 49ers are, to some extent, a different animal. They're better than Tennessee, who got hot at the right time. They're a lot better than Houston, who I thought was one of the bigger fraud teams in this NFL playoff picture. This is a defense that gets to the quarterback extremely well, something
Yeah.
that Tennessee couldn't do in that championship game. And they stopped the run well as well. The two things you want in the defense. They're built from sort of the inside out, which is what I really like about them. I think they are capable of neutralizing Patrick Mahomes, which is about the best you can hope for.
And just, that's the reason why I feel like a lot of people are favoring the 49ers here is, because defense wins games. If you have a good defense, the other team's
The
gonna
problem with
score.
the,
Simple as that.
that thought I have now is I totally agree with that if it was 20 years ago, but at this point in time, the NFL, it's offense, offense, and offense.
But do we have to go that far back? I mean, look at 2013.
Yeah.
Number one Broncos
Yeah,
offense
exactly.
versus number one Seattle's defense. That game was not close.
You can talk about
Denver
even
Broncos
the Jets
come
in
in
the
with a
AFC
powerful
Championship
pass rush with an
9
offense
years ago.
that isn't functional with a however 40-year-old Peyton Manning. They beat the Panthers.
Right.
You
You
know?
can talk about the Jets in 2009, 2010, 2011,
Absolutely.
where their offense was not insane. They had LaDainian Tomlinson. He was good at the time, starting to get old. Mark Sanchez, decent quarterbacks. Antonio Holmes. But that defense showed up against the Patriots in that wild card game. And then if they had 2 minutes left in that AFC Championship game against the Steelers, they were going to the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, you're right. You don't even have to go back 20 years. You only have to go back about 10 years or 7 years to even see that clearly within these 10, this new decade is going to be the offensive decade where Mahomes coming up out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but, he's insane. Lamar Jackson, even Sam Darnold, who hasn't been perfect, but has shown some signs of light. Daniel Jones, a couple 4-touchdown games this year. Clearly,
Four
off-
interception games. as
yeah,
well.
Also, the fact that Darnold was out, I feel it sort of threw him
exactly.
off a little bit.
Right. The only reason the Jets lost that Week 1 game is because he was sick. He didn't play perfectly.
So, moving on to the Super Bowl, Will, do you see any big free agents signing in other teams? Anywhere? Do you think?
Wasn't the big story, and I think you were talking about it coming in, what Tom Brady's going to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't see him leaving New England.
He gets his last year in New England this year, but this will be his last season. I think it's easy to call him washed, but I think back to that wild card game against the Titans. He wasn't the problem. There were a lot of drop
Yeah.
passes, special teams mistakes, run defense was bad. Tom Brady, I think if you put him in similar situations to what the Patriots have done in the past, basically put the great team around him, why can't he go right back and win another?
Actually, what I'm saying there is the offense that wasn't Tom Brady, it was down from years prior. Like Julian Edelman was the #1 receiver, but he didn't have a great year. With free agents such as AJ Green and Emmanuel Sanders,
Even Robbie Anderson could
Robbie
help
Anderson
them out.
coming out, if they can get another offensive threat over there, which can get Julian Edelman into more one-on-one coverages, then Brady can thrive more. And they got to up their running game as well. Sony Michel had a very good rookie season last year, and James White catching with Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead
Yeah,
is
right.
someone that you wouldn't really think would be a great running back, but on this this Patriots offense, he was capable of being successful. So in my opinion, I agree with Will that if you just up the offense, Brady can thrive in at least one more season with them.
And by the way, isn't this the exact sort of situation the Patriots thrive in? Right now, they're an afterthought. This is the first time in how many years that it hasn't been Brady or Manning in a Super Bowl?
Or Roethlisberger. If you add
Or Roethlisberger,
Roethlisberger to
right,
that
you have
list,
to go
it
back
goes
to
back.
Joe Flacco in 13 or 12. And now that the Patriots are the afterthought, this is the year I think they get a lot of offensive firepower in here through the draft and free agency, and they take the league right back by storm.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on to the other superstar quarterback free agent. Drew Brees, clearly contemplating retirement at this point with only one ring. He's still clearly Hall of Famer, but with only one ring, I don't know, maybe he's losing a little bit of hope, but I think that team has just gotten unlucky at this point.
Look, I'm a Saints fan. It's been rough the last 3 years. I mean, this year not as much. We truly lost that game.
Yeah.
Like we were outplayed by the Vikings. But I just think that he can come back in one more season. If the kind of like the Tom Brady situation, draft a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson out of LSU, or go sign a free agent. That Michael Thomas,
He's clearly the best receiver
Yeah.
in the NFL, but he can't do it by himself.
no, but if you listen, Michael Thomas had 172 receptions this year. The second wide receiver,
106, right?
not running back, not Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
It was like 27. It was the largest margin between wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 in receptions this year.
Oh, you meant on the team.
Yes.
I thought you meant in total. for the
No,
whole
not in total.
NFL.
Like on the team. Ted Ginn Jr. was the second wide receiver on that team. Basically saying that Taysom Hill was our second wide receiver in most things. But I just think
Speaking of Taysom Hill, with that thing, I've seen a bunch of things that the Saints are like, oh, if Drew Brees retires, we're gonna move on with Taysom Hill.
Ooh,
I don't like
don't
that.
agree with
I
that.
do not like that. He's not a functional quarterback. We saw that deep ball in the
it was
divisional game.
underthrown.
It was a good throw, but I
was
don't
underthrown.
see him moving on the Saints. I think if Drew Brees retires, you got to go out and get Teddy Bridgewater.
You have to.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is the significantly better option. Taysom Hill is perfect doing what he's doing now.
Yeah.
I don't know why you need to.
I
mess with
agree.
Yeah,
Totally
he,
agree.
He, I don't know where they found him. I don't know what gave Sean Payton and that front office the idea to use Taysom Hill in this specific situation. But if they said that Sean Payton said that it's very unlikely that the 3 quarterbacks that they have on their team, they cannot sign all 3 again. Brees is either retirement or coming back. It's not a Tom Brady situation where he's going to another team. There's just no possible way. Bridgewater has caught a lot of eyes with his five wins in his 5 games as a starter. You should not put Taysom Hill as your starting
Yeah.
quarterback, in my opinion. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe he'll come out of nowhere and be really good.
But
I
it's
just
just so
don't.
unlikely.
I just don't see it.
I just want to talk because I have to go pretty decently soon, and obviously I'm a Jets fan. I just want to talk about the Jets a little bit, and the Giants, the New York teams, with Joe Judge being hired and Eli retiring, and we were going to talk about how Joe Judge is for the Giants, and you guys can go on with that once I leave. But the Jets, everybody's saying they're not doing anything, but that's not true. There's nothing really to do at the moment besides have those contract talks with Jamal Adams that are happening at the moment. They've opened up talks with Joe Douglas and Jamal's agent, and those talks are finally starting to happen, and that's something that Jets fans should be excited about. And they got to pick up some linemen and try and get Robbie Anderson back, although I don't see it.
I think Robbie Anderson is going somewhere else.
I think he's going to go to the Eagles. They need a wide receiver, and they will give him a
He
good
can-
amount of money.
He can thrive. But look, again, there are a lot of free agent wide receivers this year. There are a lot of wide receivers that are drafting. They're coming up in the draft. So the Jets aren't hopeless. And
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, they get an offensive line to build around their star running back in Le'Veon Bell. And
Unless
Sam Darnold-
Le'Veon goes, they want to get rid of him.
and then
He was not good this year. Not good.
And then Sam Darnold needs to progress. They could be good.
Yeah.
Will any?
This is going to be an off season because Joe Judge was the hot GM hire for them. This is the offseason where we really see how well he can build a football team because the assets are incredibly limited for the Jets. I mean, you let another GM come in a year ago. He spent $120 million in free agency. So he inherited a team last season where the majority of the big time assets for the Jets were what another GM wanted, and you could tell that it was not the team that Adam Gase wanted at all. I mean, there's a reason Le'Veon Bell had limited production this year, and it's because Le'Veon Bell was not a running back that Adam Gase thought he was worth the money he got. So Joe Douglas and Adam Gase have to be really in lockstep this offseason to basically make sure that they have the same vision for the
Yeah.
football team, because it's clear that
Yeah,
McCagnon beforehand.
Adam Gase wants a Derrick Henry. He wants a guy that's gonna power. He wants a Mark Ingram, but he doesn't
just
want
want a guy
the
that
stutter
stands
step
behind the offensive
juking
line
of
for 5
Le'Veon Bell.
seconds.
There's the two offenses, two schemes don't work together. So clearly they're not on the same page. When McCagnon and Gase were together, they weren't on the same page for a running back. And I think maybe they could have gotten Ingram and he would have thrived with the Jets still. So yeah, the Jets. And then I'm gonna go now, but I'll leave you guys with that.
And then going on to the Giants and Joe Judge. I personally think that that was a good hire for them. Look, he was under Bill Belichick for such a long time. He was Belichick's go-to guy when he needed questions answered. You want someone like people wondering who Joe Judge even was. The Giants, in my opinion, were looking for someone that was so out of the box, so random that if he comes in, it may possibly just work. I just think that they have so much young talent with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, and then veteran wide receivers like Golden Tate. They could be a good team in a couple of years with the right coaching.
What this coaching hire was at the end of the day was, I think, a combination of a lot of things. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have any idea how Joe Judge is going to be as a head coach, because we have no sample size of him doing the job. But the way the Giants have hired coaches the last two incidents, McAdoo and Shermer, it's the hot offensive coordinator who either hasn't been a head coach or failed as a head coach, because you either want to revive Eli's career or set up the next quarterback coming in. But but both coaches really didn't understand how to lead a locker room. There's so much more to being a head coach than the X's and O's, right? It's a CEO position. You have to be able to lead everybody. You have to know how every individual player has to be coached. And Joe Judge in the press conference really struck me as a guy who understood that it's so much more than, the play calling angle about how good you're going to be as a head coach. You have to manage everything really well. And, I think John Mara and Dave Gettleman were looking for a coach who was going to give that exact message, and it seems like Joe Judge, that's what he's doing.
Well, look, as you said, they're looking for a coach to liven up the locker room. I mean, they're just looking for a coach that brings chemistry. I mean, Bill Belichick wasn't a guy that livened up their locker room, but he was a coach, and he got the team where they wanted to be. And Joe Judge is going to take after that.
Well, Joe Judge, the other big takeaway from the press conference is that he's going to be really on these guys. I mean, he is a disciplinarian at heart. I think that's the Belichick and Saban in him. And the one thing I wonder about Joe Judge is how well will a message like that be received? This no nonsense, team first, everything. You can do that if you're Bill Belichick because you're a 8-time Super Bowl champion. Can you do it if you're Joe Judge and you've never done the job before, and there might be players in the locker room almost as old as you?
Well, let's just as you were saying with that, it's just all going to depend on how the season progresses. If this no nonsense type of coaching works, I mean, they're not going to change it. But if they go 4-12. If they go 5-11, I don't think they're going to look for a new coach next year. But still,
they can't.
No, they can't.
No, John Mara has already said the last two head coaches have been here 2 years. Joe Judge is getting a longer leash than that, and in my opinion, by extension, Dave Gettleman will get a longer leash than that. But the two things for me, and we're already seeing this in motion. Jason Garrett was hired as the offensive coordinator. It's all about the staff that Joe Judge puts together. He needs guys that can. Jason Garrett, I think, was a big part of this. You want guys who can kind of show him the ins and outs of being a head coach, guys he can kind of rely on, and guys who are going to be great day-by-day teachers, sending the right message in the locker room, and getting players to buy in.
Eamon, Carlos, any insight, do you think? Eamon?
No, honestly, I'm not much of a Giants follower, so can't really say much on this.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the 2019-2020 Viking Voice podcast. Of course, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us at our Instagram at Viking Voice Podcast. And if you need any information, if you want to join, just any questions, contact Mr. Torre at the regular teacher email at northshoreschools.org, and any new members are welcome. Thanks for listening and joining us
Yep.
today. See you guys later.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.